Welcome to the Dark Horse Paranormal Podcast. I am your host, Chris Carr.
And I'm Kristen Johnson.
And how the hell are you? Happy Thirsty Thursday.
Happy Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
Oh, it's complicated, this one.
And that one. Hey, we hope you guys are doing great. And we missed you all on Saturday. We've been working on some projects in this documentary thing, and we're actually going to be off this Saturday too.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's, what did I call it? Doc Saturday?
Doc Saturday.
Doc Saturday.
Dr. Madness. I don't know. We're trying to get some stuff together for that. And we got all kinds of crap going on. We're now affiliated with the Dominion Ministries.
Yes, we are.
Yes, and we're pretty excited to be part of that. With James Anito and so many great people on there.
Russ Diver.
Internationally, Keith Johnson, a whole bunch of people are part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon's on there.
Shannon Nolly and
yeah, so that's really cool. And we're psyched to be and very excited to be part of that. And we look forward to doing some investigations.
Residential, basically.
Yep. And that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what else we got going on?
I was just thinking of Paracons too. We're going to Paracons.
We got Mass Paracon. I think Ocean State is coming up. And there's the other one Matt Warner's doing too. We might
yes,
to do that.
Yes, we've had
that's
him
coming
on.
up. Matt's a great guy, and he's got a little Paracon going on at the Huff. What is it? Heart Stuff Hall. That's the name of it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The Huff.
Courtney Peterson. Yes, if that's what I was just thinking of.
All right.
Courtney Peterson, if you're listening, could you please send a link to Dark Horse Paranormal Podcast Messenger so I can put it up? Thank you.
Excellent. And let's see Stephanie out there, and she's saying, "Hey, Phillip Wyatt, who is our guest tonight.
Yes,
we're going to bring him on in a moment." And the Wizard's Table, our great friend Ken Allen. Wizard's Table. How are you doing, brother? I hope everything is going okay in your world.
Yes.
Excellent. And I see Anne-Marie Young.
Hello.
Hello, Anne. And I'm sure most of you know Anne, but if you don't, she was on our show last week.
Please go check it out.
Telling you folks exactly who she is.
My cousin.
Yeah, we love Anne.
Yeah.
And
no, my cousin's with her. My cousin Eric Johnson is watching for the first time.
Oh, excellent. Hey there, cuz. Hey there, cuz. What's going on, Eric? How are you?
He's awesome.
Stephanie says, "Hey guys." So
I miss you, cuz.
Oh, and there's our buddy Greg Koss. What's going on?
Mr. Koss, we've been waiting for you.
The Shadow Hour Master.
Yes.
And host of Metaphysical Crossings.
And we are on there doing Double ST's method.
Yeah. We've done a few crazy things. I think we got another show.
Oh, and you did what? The Gandalf. No.
Gandalf. The Gandalf method. No, the Gansfield method. Yes.
Yes.
The ping pong balls. That was fun. I look like a frogman, but
frogman.
Definitely good stuff. So without further ado, let me tell you about our guest tonight. He's been on here before. I know a lot of you guys know and love him. His name is Phillip Wyatt. He is an eventual spirit medium and experienced paranormal researcher and investigator with the Mystery Center for Advanced Paranormal Phenomena. He has an extensive background in the study and practice of ITC, instrumental transcommunication, which is, of course, things like the double Estes method. He combines his beliefs with the afterlife along with his gifts as a medium together with science and technology to establish the connection and communication between living and spirit. He is the founder and administrator for the group, the ITC Collaboration, a group of ITC enthusiasts, which consists of over 500 members performing worldwide ITC experiments. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because I don't think we got too into that last time. And that sounds interesting as all heck. Phillip is the developer for the Android ITC Spirit Communication app, the ITC Collaboration Pro, available on Google Play. Phillip has published 3 books, The Art of Spirit, The Artful Spirits, and Spirit Reflections, which are collections of spirit images derived from the ancient form of divination called water scrying. Phillip has been featured been a featured speaker at Dragon Con conventions in Atlanta, Georgia, as a lecturer in the paranormal field, as a staff writer for paranormal magazine, The Paranormal Inquisitor. Phillip presents his views and thoughts on many different paranormal topics. He is also a member of Georgia Paranormal Investigations, which is, you can check out their website. We've got it there in the ticker, which not surprisingly is GeorgiaParanormalInvestigations.com. That's right, folks, .com. And it's an awesome site and a really great team there. Good stuff. So let's bring him on. What's going on, my man? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Gosh, y'all make me sound really important or something.
Well, like you are.
You're important.
Yeah, right. No, hardly. But thank you. I'm so glad to be here with you two. I always have fun when we're together.
Absolutely.
Yes,
we try to have a good time, with the show, and not be so serious at all times, and have a good time. And
hey, Stephanie. Stephanie one of my teammates at Georgia Paranormal.
Oh, awesome.
Excellent.
Hi, Stephanie.
Very good. Very good. And I see Gladys out there. Lots of folks out there tonight. And they're here to see you, my friend. I need to know why they're coming here, she says. Well, we'll have to get into all that.
Yeah, in a bit.
Who are they?
Yeah, it's
who are they? Isn't that
the
$1,000,000 question, isn't it?
Yeah. Greg Koss just said Phil is the man. Well,
he's a great guy. He's a good-hearted person.
Wants to know we're coming on Wednesday.
Yeah, I guess we are. Is it this weekend? All right.
Yes.
This Wednesday. Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been working on his show in a sort of a regular rotation with some other folks doing ITC experiments and Estes method and different things, and seeing if we can connect to the same spirits. And it's been interesting. We've had some pretty good results with that. Obviously, you're very into ITC, and there's some stuff there in your bio. The group ITC Collaboration, is that still together, and how does that work?
I think it may be like 600 members now, though we haven't done any experiments in a while. We were doing some really fun things early on. Like you said, you're trying to see if the same spirits will work with you. You can have your spirit teams on the other side who are specializing in ITC, working with groups of people. So it takes consistency for them to get to know you and work together as a team on the other side. So, it's not something you can just do here and there. It becomes a working group of spirits and people on this side. But we did an experiment called the code word experiment, and I took a one-syllable word and I put it in an envelope, and then I live streamed just the envelope, and then there were people in different countries, and they would ask the spirits through ITC, whatever spirit box, whatever method they want, if they could tell them what the word in the envelope was.
Okay.
It was fascinating.
That's cool. And did you get a lot of right answers?
I think it was around a 45% correct response, which that's really high when you think about it.
It is. Yeah, it is.
And the ITC Collaboration YouTube page, I think, still has those videos of some of those experiments on there. So if anybody wants to go and watch those. And then we did one where I put an object in a box. It was kind of the same concept, but instead of a word, it was an actual object. And they had so many weeks to do sessions and see if the spirits would tell them what the object in the box was. And it was a little higher. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was a little higher ratio of correct answers for that, which was really fascinating.
Well, this wasn't like 7, right? Like the head in the box.
And then one of the real intense ones that I developed with a friend, we did the enlightenment experiment, where we came up with this list of really intense questions to ask the spirit world, like what happens to murderers when they cross over? Is there a spirit jail? Really. And there are things we're not allowed to ask, which I found out. We're not
Really?
we're not allowed to know some of these things. And you have to get permission from somebody over there to get answers. So those videos are very fascinating to watch.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And the name of that channel is it's ITC Communications. Or Collaboration?
YouTube, ITC Collaboration. Yeah. Just like the
Oh.
Facebook group.
I'm gonna
Okay.
find that. I'm gonna seek that out. And so they literally told you things like that, like you're not
Oh,
allowed.
they say no. I mean, you cannot ask this. I'm like, I mean, there was some really intense communication going on.
That is interesting. We've talked to some rescue mediums that have told us things like, if the spirits won't leave or
Yeah.
won't cross over, they'll call in like a spirit police kind of thing is like a word they'll use. Like this other kind of presence.
Mm-hmm.
You can also call in someone from that spirit's family that they respected or feared or held in a higher esteem to say, get over here, come to the light, come with us. There's different ways when a spirit doesn't want to willingly go. I mean, and they still don't have to go, but there's certain people you can call on to help you with that situation.
Like spirit guides.
They don't. I mean, we have free will, so they don't have to go if they don't want to. All the sage in the world.
Oh yeah, no.
It may not work.
That's very true. Now, when you said you put something in an object in a box, that reminds me of remote viewing.
Sure.
Yeah, very much so, right?
Yeah, because remote viewing, they do that.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Sure. And certainly with the
box
envelopes and
Yes.
even we were talking, what was it that we brought up last week with the envelopes? And it was the dream, influencing dreams. And that this had been some parapsychological experiments that were going on, I believe in the 70s, where they would have like two people in a lab, and one of them, when they would hit, a REM state, sleeping in the lab, the other person was awake, they would have an envelope, they'd open it up and then there would be a picture of something, and they would try to influence the dreams of the sleeping person. And they had, very good results. I think it's something like 2/3.
Wow.
Seemed to be influenced by just them thinking about it, which is a little scary. In a way.
Telepathy. I mean, telepathy, and you just go into somebody who's actually just in a REM state.
Right. And you think like your dreams could be influenced purely by the will of another. It sounds
that's like a random number generator. Our minds can influence those they've shown, which is interesting.
Really creepy when
it would be like, it would be like a way to curse somebody, like when they're sleeping. Think about them
only of it.
Stop eating cookies. That's what I need. I need somebody to influence me to stop eating cookies.
I was just talking about that. I'm really bad.
The gelato.
Sorry, chocolate.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was just came across this documentary on, I don't know, Netflix or something, and it was about the remote viewing that the CIA had been doing for years and years. I mean, it's so fascinating to think all those documents are now becoming available to see. Of course, a lot of the stuff's redacted, but they were doing experiments up into the 90s with remote viewing for the government.
We have a friend, and she's in one of them, and I believe it's on YouTube. What is it? Psycho Spies? What is it?
Yeah. Third Eye Spy.
Third Eye Spy.
Yeah,
that's on YouTube. It's Michelle Freed. She's in that. I think Gail was in that too. Gail Heisen.
I think she might have been briefly. And
yeah.
Actually, IRVA, which is the International Remote Viewing Association, is holding their conference soon. And Bill's involved with that with Deborah Lynn Katz. I think Deborah Lynn Katz is now the president of that, actually.
Yes.
And she's a big remote viewer, and we've had her on before
really
to talk
good.
about
My
it.
Goodness.
Yeah, very interesting person. And we've experimented with that ourselves and had some success. And it's amazing, like how easy these things can be, if you try them and you put a little effort into it, or lack of effort. You almost have to let the answers come. So do you find that as a medium yourself and psychic, do you just try to not filter the stuff in your mind and just let it flow? I guess would be a good question. I know
Yeah,
remote viewing, it's the filtering and the analysis your brain does, the analytical overlays they call it in remote viewing, that it kind of cloud the information, where you try to make sense of what's coming through, that you're better off to just let it happen.
well, a spirit is going to use my life experiences to help relay the images and the messages. Um, like for instance, the symbol of a woman with a white purse on her arm holding it to me is a church lady. So there are different some symbols that I can relate to, that when I see that in a reading, I'll know that the person was religious.
Okay.
Certain things that like that.
Sure. These are things that make sense to you. So it's
Yeah.
a way of communicating with you personally because you associate those symbols with those things.
And a spirit may not use that symbol with someone else because that's not their life, experiences. They'll use whatever is in my head to help formulate the information. I mean, they work with individual people with their individual life experiences to relay the information. And it's not really our job to try to translate the information. It's just spit it out, because it may not make a hill of beans sense to me, but that I could say it to you and you'll know exactly what it means.
Right. So you don't want to analyze it. Just take the information.
No, if you analyze it, you'll start adding to it, and you can't do that. You have to give it exactly like you get it. And I get it two ways. I'll watch like a movie, and I'll see, and then I'll get the clear cognizance, which is it's just downloaded, and I just start saying it. It just comes, and I know it's not me because it feels different.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It feels external, right? When you have that kind of communication, it's hard to put your finger on what that feels like, but I know what you're talking about. And it does feel like it's something external and things you would have never thought of yourself if you were trying to do it.
Right.
And you have to feel that spirit connection, that energy. I mean, that's part of developing your mediumship, is feeling that energy and knowing you've got that connection, that it's not your mind. And that's one of the tough things to do when you're developing, is first to learn the differences in feeling the energies, because you can work mediumship and psychic in one reading, and you need to know which is information is psychic and which is coming from spirit. And that can get confusing.
That seems tricky.
Yeah, I think so. Like with remote viewing, it's I think more purely a psychic thing, where like
you're not getting any information through spirit when you're doing remote viewing, as far as going for a target and trying to see the target. Yeah.
What do you do to warm up to spirit and make those connections?
Calming your mind is one of the biggest things. You have to calm your mind, which is really hard because our minds are always thinking about, the grocery list, I need to do the laundry, the dog's got to go out, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's calming it and then shifting my awareness, like taking it from this consciousness to over here to the spirit world. I don't know how to other explain that than like I'll just shift and I'm somewhere else and they're with me. So a lot of times I'll be like staring off to the side because I'm over here in this energy space instead of here.
And when you shift your consciousness, like what does that feel like? The spirit world, does it feel different than the world of the living to you?
You kind of tune out. Sometimes I kind of tune out things. But when you're doing mundane things, like when I'm in the shower in the morning doing the same routine I've done for years and years and years and years, I brush my teeth, wash my hair, my mind is occupied, and spirit comes in a lot of time while I'm in the shower because I'm doing these mundane things that aren't taking a lot of concentration, that my mind's kind of open and clear.
Yes, I get that.
Much as the same thing when I'm driving. I don't drive with the radio on. I like the quiet because I can talk to spirit.
Sure.
and things will come in when I'm driving, and I don't always know who it's for. But it's just a good practice thing for me to do is connect with spirit in the car. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but
No, that's we were gonna say it's like a hypnagogic state. That's
yeah,
where you go and do these things. So you've got a routine in the shower and you just go and
yeah,
you gotta focus on that. So you're not doing much, but focusing on that. So of course they're gonna step in. I've had that
and,
happen.
All right, you're
Yeah.
running on autopilot, Mark.
and a
Exactly.
lot of times if I'm like doing a reading, I'm right-handed, so I'll take my left hand and I will figure 8 and occupy my right side of my brain so it can come in through the left side. Yeah.
No,
So you want to have your, the right side of your brain doing something mundane. So I'm using my left hand, just doing doodles,
absolutely.
like
That's really
that.
cool.
And then when the information will come, if it's a lot, I need to write it down. Then I'll just start writing it down.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Are there certain spirits you talk to on a regular basis?
No. Well, I mean, one of my good clients at my hair salon, her mother pops in every so often, which is kind of awkward. She's, she knows when I look over to the corner of the room while I'm doing her hair and like I'm zoning out, she'll go, "Is mom here?" I'm going, mm-hmm. Yeah, the few people like that, but that's usually it.
Yes. So Anne says she's had that happen when she's doing dishes and vacuuming or sweeping, and it's that state of mind. It's
Yeah,
you're focusing on that and nothing else, and
Sort of
exactly.
yeah,
autopilot,
exactly.
and things come in.
Yeah.
But you find out most of them are different. And do you find that the spirits that you talk to, the discarnate, they're human spirits? I'm assuming based on the way we've been talking about them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the spirits of deceased people and
Yes.
discarnate, are they sad? Are they
Um,
earthbound spirits? Do they carry like a great weight? I was thinking about this the other day, and I
No.
was
If
driving.
they have crossed over into the higher realm of existence, they're no longer angry. They're no longer sad. They have some type of enlightenment. You often hear like, well, someone's been murdered. They're missing. Why can't the spirit just come and say, Joe Blow murdered me and shot me in the head? They don't even care at that point. It's not important.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They're past it. They've moved on. It's the people left here that want to know who killed their loved one, not the loved one. That's
Right.
they've moved on and seen their life isn't over. They have a different new life.
Yeah, I understand that. I can see that.
I think when I've had like communications like you described with like Russia's, symbols and things that meant things to me, it was spirits that had crossed over already and
Yeah.
were visiting. And that's very different than the way a lot of people define earthbound spirits, right?
Yeah.
That might be the cause of a lot of hauntings, for example, that are maybe scared to cross over for reasons, things they did in their lifetime, and that sort of.
Or something
that happened.
them
Yeah.
here.
I had a residential case where the lady had overdosed and her boyfriend had overdosed first, and she was asleep when he overdosed. And if she had been awake, she could have given him a Narcan shot and saved him.
Mm-hmm.
So her guilt was keeping her there after she overdosed. And she also had drugs hidden in the house that she needed to be found before her grandchildren came in to clean the house out. And she came to me. I didn't know who it was because I didn't know she had died of a drug overdose. I had been told that the house we were going to, the woman had passed away. But she showed me it looked like a white dresser, but it ended up being a bathroom cabinet. And she told me it's in the top right drawer. And she just said, I'm scared, and kept pointing. So I'm like, okay, something's in there that needs to be found. So I realized this was the M.C.A.P.P. team I was on. I relayed it to the to Marie, who done the intake, and I said, I've got this information. I don't know what to do with it, but it's very important. Will you give it to the client? And she said, sure. So I didn't hear anything else about it. And then when we got to the house a week later, she said, I found what my aunt was telling me to look for. And I said, well, can you tell us what it is? And it was a heroin needle and a thing of, I don't know, a rock, drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what drug paraphernalia, but it was hidden in that white top right drawer in the bathroom. And
oh wow.
And the grandkids were coming into town to help clean out the house the following week, and she didn't want them to find them. And I did not know that the family did not know she died of a drug overdose. They were told she died of something else.
Wow.
I mean, so, and then after that, she was, we helped her go. Everything was fine. She was happy to leave at that point. So the earthbound ones still, can have really important information they need to relay to us maybe before they go.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of those I felt so good that I was able to help that deceased woman. She could go now. It's cool.
And it was just some relief with that, and she was able to cross over.
Yeah.
Can you shut it off at all? Can you?
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
You can. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the earthbound spirits. Now Stephanie, we just had this residential case with Georgia Paranormal, and the teenage daughter has mediumship abilities, and she's not aware of it. And the daughter is hearing all these people in the house talking, whispering, calling her name. There's a big house, almost 7,000 square feet. They were wonderful people to work with. The mother and father are very supportive of the daughter. They knew she wasn't crazy, blah, blah, blah. So we captured the voices in the house, and they were calling her name.
Oops.
So when we played the evidence for the mother, I said, it's your decision if you want to show the daughter this or not, because it's pretty emotional. So she did eventually show it to her, and she called me. She said, well, I didn't get the action that I thought we'd get. She started crying and said, I can't believe they all want to talk to me. And she was excited about it. And I said, now wait, we have to reel this in. These are not the ones you want to be talking to.
Oh. These
are not of the highest and best. They're stuck here. We don't know who they are coming to you, but they're not the ones she needs to communicate with. So we had to work with her on what she needs to do to get above that vibration, because that's very draining, especially for someone her age and not understanding what's happening to her.
Right. I imagine pretty easy to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
They probably stand out as sort of a beacon, being in those years, especially, and being in tune like that. What do you recommend people do to quote unquote raise their vibration and avoid the lower vibration entities that might come and mean them ill will?
There's a lot of wonderful raising your vibration meditations that you can do. It's expanding your light, pushing your light out, doing things that make you music, fun music, opening up the curtains, having a good time, laughing, joy. Those things raise your vibrations. But meditation is the best thing, because you have to kind of get higher than these earth planes. Now, as a paranormal investigator, we still need to be able to talk to these lower ones that are still here. So you got to know how to bring it up, bring it down.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Yes.
And that's something a lot of people don't talk about, but we've talked about that.
Absolutely.
Like, if you raise your vibration to a point where you're no longer talking to anything, of a lower vibration, as they say, you're not going to talk to anything that's haunting the house.
Exactly.
Causing a disturbance or no, because you have to more or less at least communicate with them. And I guess then the trick is to not have it come home with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can. I ask my guides, and I say, whatever's here, bring them close enough to me that I can communicate, if possible, without them doing any harm.
Mhm.
You know, there's gatekeepers and there's people on
Yep.
the side that are helping you. You just have to talk to them.
Mhm.
And
That
that's how I do it. Now, sometimes nasty ones will sneak up on me out of nowhere, then I don't see them coming. I mean, that still happens. Happens to everybody. Like, happened in Tennessee. One, all of a sudden, I knew something nasty was there, and then next thing I know, I started choking, and I have to leave the house. And then came back in and walked in the room, and we got the EVP says he'll hurt me, and I think he was afraid of me because I had on a Union Civil War uniform. You know, I was as a trigger object, and I think it
Oh,
upset the
wow.
spirit. And so he
That's
was,
so interesting that you do that
yeah,
as a trigger object. That's really cool. Wow.
yeah. So if you
So
see
much.
some of our videos on YouTube for Georgia Paranormal, some of them I've got a Civil War uniform on. So it's kind of funny, but you know,
Yeah,
you experiment, you see if it works or not.
that's
Sure.
great.
That's
Stephanie
awesome.
says that was crazy.
Oh,
Yes,
I can't
Stephanie.
imagine.
So yeah, she was right there when this was happening, and I said,
Wow.
something's in that room. I got to go outside. And then I went outside, kind of pulled it together a little bit, and then went back in. It's fine. But my body will react when something's negative a
Mhm.
lot of
Mhm.
times. But sometimes it can happen really fast without me being prepared for it.
Yeah, I've had that happen myself in a couple of places.
Mhm.
And it's not fun. You can feel like the energy just bringing you down, and it's
Yes.
really anxiety, anxious
Mhm.
feeling when you need to go.
Yeah.
It's very people must think we're weird, but we're not. This is what happens.
It's all energy. Everything's energy. They're
All
vibrating on a certain,
vibrations, frequency. Yes.
yeah.
I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about spirit communications and that the symbiogy you mentioned that they got it from you, which of course makes total sense. And I understand what you're saying. And this sounds so much like certain alien abduction phenomena as
Mhm.
well, like the presentations. And I think this carries into the paranormal because I think the two are often one and the same phenomena, where the spirit presents itself or an alien presents itself,
Mhm.
and abductees have said this based on, or they've been told by the alien, if it is in fact an alien,
Mhm.
that their appearance is based on something from their memory, from
Yeah.
their mind, and that they took it from them. In
So we're
effect,
able to understand it more clearly. That's not as foreign to us, or
exactly,
you can relate
exactly.
to it and
Or
understand
maybe it
it.
knows, how you tick, or
Yeah.
presents itself in a way that scares you, like a
Mhm.
shadow person or something like that.
Yeah.
Or just a gray alien. Maybe that's all it takes to really, get your attention.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It would certainly get mine,
Right.
but to pull it from our own consciousness, our own brains, memory, mind,
Mhm.
whatever we want to, whatever term we want to use in there. I think that that's fascinating. And I see a correlation between the way they communicate with you. It's very similar to the way abductees also are
Yeah.
often talked to, right? And then a lot of them walk away. This has been documented. I'm sure you've heard us talk about it with these kind of enhanced psychic abilities.
Yeah.
I think that's fascinating. That has been dubbed contact modalities and things of that
Yes.
nature. um
Well, they've come in contact with a completely different vibrational energy than the rest of us have been exposed to. So no telling how that would change you physiology. You know what I mean? You know how that could change you and bring out something that you've got inside you, like a mediumship ability that just needed a little jolt.
mhm. Yeah, well, I think that's great, and it's interesting. I think in modern times, although the two things have been paralleled for so long, if you look into that,
Mhm.
or we just get closer to it now. Um, Gladys Davenport has asked a couple of
Yes.
unusual
Okay.
questions in the chat, and I'm just going to put one up because I think these are directed toward you. Not sure who she is, but she says I have two questions. Am I her, or was she me? And I'm not sure what she means by that. Does that mean anything to you?
She also said earlier, look up above. And I didn't know what she meant referencing that. She said if he's really psychic, he will understand. Look up above. And then she asked that question. I've been talking to her, so
Got my ceiling fan on.
yeah,
Does she have abilities? Because sometimes people can see things behind me, because I'm concentrating on you two now, so my mind's not anywhere else.
Right,
so maybe she can see something.
I am not sure. I didn't know if you knew her. I just thought I would try to give everybody a fair shot with the questions and all that. If something comes to you, let us know. Your cousin Eric
I'm answering him now.
Would you embrace the energy or ignore it?
Okay, so it depends if the energy feels negative. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If the energy feels okay, it feels maybe loving, anything, just you should. Do you agree, Phillip?
Yeah, you can tell if it's negative or positive. I mean, you may not understand what they need or what they want or how to help them, but you can listen and try to figure it out.
Yeah, no anxiety or anything that you get with it, because if you get anxiety, absolutely not.
No, you shouldn't feel anxious. You should, yeah.
Interesting. Tell us about your childhood. This is a subject that yes, it sounds like Freud here. Tell me about your mother.
Yes, so I laughed.
How much time do you don't have enough time?
That interests us quite a bit. And
talk to my two past therapists, they can tell you.
I don't think we have the HIPAA clearance for that.
No.
But we'll just talk about childhood experiences. Did you have experiences as a child? And when did you know that you had a gift?
I did, but I was absolutely terrified. A lot of times when people have abilities, when they're younger, they're loners, they're introverted, they don't like to be around a lot of people. And that was me. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had a friend at a time, kind of. That just seems to be a trait with people that have abilities in their childhood. They kind of are, they're not the life of the party. And that was not me. I was kind of withdrawn and kept to myself. Plus, I grew up in a really conservative country area. God bless my parents. They were in a terrible relationship, so I stayed out of the way most of the time and kept to myself to try to not to upset everybody. So the last thing I wanted to do was ask Mom, who's this woman standing by my bed, that happened one night. And I started screaming my head off because I saw this woman standing beside my bed, and Mom came in just like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I said, there's a woman in here. And, she didn't want to be bothered with it. Just like, go stop bothering me. She just did not want to be bothered. So I learned right then, let's keep this quiet. So, yeah. Yeah, my childhood was not, the Brady Bunch. So
I understand, and I totally can relate to some of that. Not so much growing up in a religious area, but the introversion. I'm still an introvert, which is an odd thing to be out here and doing interviews and stuff like that.
We both are.
Goofing around in these web shows, but I'm totally an introvert, so I get that. But how old were you when you noticed? Do you think, roughly?
I don't. Oh gosh, I don't know how old
saw anything or had some kind of experience.
Yes.
Well, I would go places and I would see people, and they would be like in different clothing, and I thought it was more of a costume thing, but I never said anything. I would just kind of watch, and I just had this. I was just drawn to old historical places. I just loved it. I always felt at home, old places, because I could see these cool things, but I never talked about it because you don't upset Mother because she's going to be upset and then you're going to catch hell. So you just keep it to yourself. And then, when I got into my teenage later years and trying to figure out life and what the hell am I going to do, I kind of pushed it all away because I was trying to escape from where I lived and get out and
Mhm.
try to go somewhere else and start a life. So I kind of just pushed it all away.
Yeah, yeah. And Joshua Dixon, hey, good to see you,
Hey,
Joshua.
you're-
Says
Yeah,
trying to navigate, not upset anyone. I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
Yes.
know, so you did have these experiences. Were any of them like a negative, or how do you think they impacted you? Was it more just, I see dead people, kind of a sixth sense
Oh,
thing?
if something felt bad, I knew it. I mean, you just know. It's like, oh, I'm not going in there. There's something I don't know, but I'm not going in there. That kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
You could just feel it. It's like,
See,
yeah, I can't do
feel
this.
it.
I can't go there. I can't do that because something's not right about it.
Did they try to interact with you? Like, did they know you could see them?
Yeah, they did, but I was so unaware of what the heck it was and going on, because I had never heard of this stuff as a kid. We don't
Mhm.
have internet. I grew up in a church that was very oppressive. I mean, you're going to hell if you do anything you're not supposed to do. You're
Mhm.
going to hell. End of story. So I was terrified.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like, what? I'm just, you just kind of just lay low and try to skate through it.
It's interesting that you just saw these things and thought they were just like the living. I know a
In
psychic
costumes.
that thought that she had a pair of dogs, their family owned dogs,
Yeah.
for like the longest time as a child, and they didn't. But she saw the dogs
Oh, yeah.
for like a few years. Like, and she's like, "Mom, what happened to the dogs?"
Yeah, that's
Like, what dogs?
yeah.
We don't own any dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah. So that's intriguing.
Mhm.
You saw these things, they interacted with you. So when did you kind of pushed it away? You rebelled. Greg Koss says, great answer. I had something close growing up in a strict Catholic house. Then I became quite a rebel.
Yeah.
And you're out of there, Greg, right? And Debbie Wallace Higgins says, hey everyone. Hey, how's it going, Debbie?
Hi, Debbie.
Stephanie says, my family would have committed me, so I never
Yeah,
said anything.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't remember all the things I did say. Like, I had a real issue staying in my room for good reason.
Yeah.
And I know I got in trouble for leaving the room a lot. So I don't know what I did and didn't say about the certain phenomena and stuff that occurred,
Yeah.
to myself. How about yourself, Kristen? When these things we talk about, like, did you talk about it with your
I couldn't.
mom
I
and
tried to talk about it with my mom. My dad
shadow
wanted no.
figures and things?
Oh yeah,
Nope.
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 Dad
My
didn't want to hear it.
Dad didn't want to hear it. He's like, oh yeah. Mom was like, yeah, okay. She was a little more, listened to me at least and said, but other than that, no, they didn't believe me.
Then I was dealing with something else too. I did not want to play with the G.I. Joes. I wanted to play with the Barbies.
Yes.
I wanted to play with the Barbie Playhouse. That was a whole other issue upsetting the household.
Yeah.
Right,
I
especially with
see
the
that.
religion and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So that was another
South, right?
throwing a
Not good.
Conservative. Yes.
Yeah, super
I was
conservative.
like, why? They're so beautiful. Why can't I play with it?
Yeah.
Boys are supposed to do this. Boys is like, why?
I bet you couldn't wait to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And that's what I was focusing on. How am I getting out of here? God bless. They were doing the best they can. I love my mother. My dad's still living. Love him. They didn't know what to do with me.
No, that's understandable.
And my thought was, I don't want to upset them because they already are living with a bunch of crap with their selves.
Their issues. Yes.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yeah. So when did you return to these things, or did they ever really go away? Did you have like a period where like you had the childhood experiences, but the other things took over and were more your focus? And I know that was the case with me. And then I kind of got back into these things like later in life. Did you have
No,
anything like that, or
I
was it
think it
always
totally, I think I totally pushed it away while I was trying to get my career and move to Atlanta from North Carolina. You know, when your mind is so full and occupied, there's not room for you to have a different consciousness to switch to,
Hmm.
you know. So yeah, it's like in 2020. 2020 was a year from hell for most people, but
Yes.
my mother died March 28th. My business was shut down. COVID. I couldn't have made a spirit connection if I wanted to. I was like, is it going to go away? So one of my mediumship teachers like, spirit knows when life gets in the way. They're always going to be there. You take as long as you need to get your mind back to where you can concentrate. So I just kind of like, I got to get through 2020 and then we'll see what happens. I mean, I couldn't meditate. I couldn't sit in the power. I could not focus.
Really hard to do. I mean, for
yeah, it's so
anybody, it
stressful.
was very stressful. What you're looking
Yeah.
for, it was
Yeah.
wicked stressful, and I don't think any of us could do it. I think, like, all of us felt like that.
Yeah.
It
I think the whole world's vibration was so low.
was so bad.
I mean, I thought the demons were just going to start crawling out of the woodwork because the whole world was just so low. I was like,
I think they might have.
this is not good. But then all the paranormal activity like came to a halt. I mean,
Yes.
which was also so bizarre.
However, there was a one good point in this than people staying home and never really believed in this stuff. Actually found out that their houses were haunted.
Yeah.
And we did get that statistic.
yeah, right. That's true. A lot of people realized, wow, now that I'm home.
Wow. What is
Yeah.
this
Now what
happening?
do we do? Let's get back to work and get out of here. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think ghosts sleep. We do a lot of day investigating and that
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah, they don't know it's day.
phenomena occurs all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just
It's
looks
just
like,
easier.
yeah, and it just looks like on the TV, wow, pop, yeah.
Yeah. Everything happens at the
Red
witching
light.
hour.
Yeah. We're good.
The thing is, though, with investigating at night is the quietness and the less contamination.
Yes. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The noise.
Car noise is just so hard on audio evidence.
Absolutely. We definitely agree with you. That's
late night, 2 a.m., there's hardly any traffic. There's a reason we're doing it then. It's not because the ghosts, it's 2 a.m., let's go party. No.
Right.
No.
It's definitely quieter. And from that standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. There's this no road noise at all and less activity in general, but hopefully, paranormal activity. But, I tell people this because a lot of people think, well, nothing happens during the day. Why would you go out during the day?
Well,
things do happen during the day.
A lot of things.
Paranormal, occurrences happen with
during
the sun right there.
Yep.
Things still happen that are just as crazy as nighttime. So
most definitely,
it's not just that your heightened sense of fear or that kind of thing that necessarily facilitates it. If they want to speak to you, they do. They do, and any tool will work.
Will work. Any tool.
So just to note that, when did you get into doing paranormal investigations?
Gosh, I don't know. What was it? It was over 10 years ago. I did it for fun, not like seriously doing it. And then when I started doing some like ghost tours and things, and then watching things on Facebook, all that mediumship stuff started coming back. It's just like, then I realized this is what I can do with this. I was at a age and time in my life where I was more secure with myself, who I am, what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And it's just easier to concentrate on that mediumship aspect when I'm not worried about what people are going to think of me, because I don't give a damn at this age, So, yeah, I mean, this is it, take it or leave it. So those kinds of things help. So I guess it was around 10 years ago that I got serious in it.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
I
Now
know
you
it's
do,
not that long, but when I do something, I dive, I go in.
understandable.
You know,
Yes, I can see you doing that.
and especially with this, it's just like I should have been doing this a long time ago. But
That's what I feel like too. I've only been doing it for what, 4 years?
yeah,
I don't think even that long.
It's
but I didn't have the resource. You know, the internet, the different things that have just exploded for us. That's made things so much easier.
yeah.
It's like, gosh, we've got so much more resources now than we did 15 years ago. You know, when we had
Exactly.
dial up, and you'd have to wait for your phone to dial the computer, and
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
remember those
No,
days.
we remember those days too.
you know,
yeah,
that sort of
you've
thing.
got mail. I mean, you remember those days.
I can still hear the dial up. It's
Oh, I know. I can still hear it. Yeah. Been trying to get in the chat room on the AOL. Yeah.
yeah. Now you do scrying. Could you
Yes.
please explain to people what that is?
Well, I can. Do we want to do the presentation? Because I've got all that laid out.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right,
And
now-
you don't do a regular scrying. You have to explain this, please.
I'm going
Yeah.
to just probably, say some of the things that you're showing us in detail, because this will be an audio podcast and they won't be able to see the pictures necessarily.
Oh,
But,
yeah, that's right.
I'll just try to describe
That's okay.
what we're watching.
Okay. All right, everybody, cross your fingers, and I'm going to try the screen sharing. Okay.
Okay, there. I think we just had something pop up on our side. Let me bring that up. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Is it up?
Yes.
Okay.
It is up.
All right. Scrying. Scrying is an ancient form of divination. Now I'm going to scoot right down here and explain what divination is in case anyone doesn't know. Divination is seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown through supernatural means. That's the definition of divination. So scrying is an ancient form of divination, also known as seeing or peeping. It's a way of looking into the past, the present, or the future. It's a practice of looking into a suitable medium, such as a crystal ball, which we've all seen on all the movies for years. A black mirror, you've heard of mirror scrying. There's also smoke and steam, which we're going to look at. And in my practice, I do mostly water. But in this presentation, I've got several of the smoke and the steam images. Now, we do this in the hope of detecting a significant message or visions. It may be something personal that you're trying to get guidance or an answer to, prophecy for something for the future, or just, in my case, I started doing it for inspiration. When I was sitting at home in 2020, is when I really got into scrying. I was looking for, something positive, uplifting, as far as images go. And that's when I started getting these really interesting images. So down through the ages, scrying has been a very prominent form of divination and spirit communication. It's just not something we in the paranormal talk about a lot, because we talk more about the audio ITC, but scrying is a form of visual ITC because we're using electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the water method, I use different types of vessels. I'll use a stainless steel bowl that's reflective. It's not like mirror reflective, but it's reflective. I get a lot of images by using glass jars, and one side of the jar is painted. I have one that's painted white, I have one that's painted gold, and one that's painted black. And this is another one of my scrying bowls. But the jar or the bowl is filled with water, and I'll use different types of lighting sources that I'll put above the water, and then I will video the water, which will pop over to this slide. So here's one of the stainless steel bowls, and I have this is called a stained glass bulb. It has different colors in it. This one's a white LED bulb, and I'll just place them over the water, and then I'll put my hand in the water and just move the water back and forth gently and video it for about 30 seconds to a minute.
I was wondering how you got the water to vibrate and move. So
Yes.
so you're using your hand to put motion into the water, and you're videotaping. There's two lights, as you described, the bulbs, and they're on stands focused in on the stainless steel bulb and the jar.
Yes. And I don't know if it's energy from my body into the water, if it helps it at all, because I'm not touching the water per se with the jars. So it's just interesting that I get images both ways. All right, now we're going to go into the smoke and the steam method. There's different things you can do. You can use an atomizer, which are the little things where you put water and then the scented oils in, and it makes that really wonderful vapor that has the fragrance to it. That's the one I use a lot. You can use incense, which I have used. I'll just put it in a bowl and just light it. And then I'll use different kinds of lights. I'll use full spectrum lights with different colors. I'll use LED lights. I'll just experiment and use different colors of lights. I'll even go outside and use natural sunlight. So just experiment with, if you want to try this, with just different types of lighting, because you'll get different kinds of results, and you'll see these in the pictures. But this light right here that I've got shining on the bowl is a full spectrum light, which paranormal investigators will know what that is. It's all the colors of the spectrum, from infrared, IR, to UV, to red, green, yellow, blue.
Mm-hmm. Do you use full spectrum cameras to take those pictures?
I use an iPhone 12.
Okay.
Because they have 4K video. I mean, they're as good as any other video camera.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. And I found video is much easier than still photographs, because you've got a lot more frames in a 30-second video than you do taking a whole bunch of pictures. It's easier just to go through the video slowly, frame by frame, and look for the images. Now, if anybody's got questions, I can't see anything. So if anybody wants to ask any questions while I'm showing this.
Just some comments out there that Marie loves her favorite divination is this, and Stephanie mentioned that she loves your smoke scrying images. Yes.
Cool.
That's where we do too.
And Greg had to go. He's on another show with another guest.
Oh, too popular. Too popular. Okay, so this one is the atomizer, and if you can look right in here, you will see the face. There are the eyes, the nose, the lips, the dark hair surrounding here. The chin is down here.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see the face. She's kind of looking up into the distance. Now, I want to explain to people, my images are not looking at images in a yearbook. These can be more etherical. Some of them even have a cartoon look to them. So these are not going to look like pictures you're looking at in a newspaper or a yearbook. So they're a little more artsy, and that's just the way Spirit's showing it to me. Some people that do different, scrying techniques get different types of images, and mine just seem to come out more artsy and abstract, which I love.
Oh yeah, I do. I love your pictures, and I've commented on a lot of the ones you posted to Facebook and such. I tend to see like eyes and face outlines and these sort of things. In your words, because I'm sure there's people ask this, how do you define the difference between, say, a spirit that you have captured in a photograph, or as opposed to, say, pareidolia?
It's kind of a feeling. When I look at an image, it's how it makes me feel. If I feel like there's a connection there, I think it's more of a spirit. There's some that I think can be pareidolia, but sometimes they're just so pretty, I'll put them out there anyway and let people just decide for themselves. Because a lot of times somebody will see something that no one else sees, and maybe that's their journey for that image for them, is to see something totally different, and that's cool. I mean, what does it do for you when you look at it?
Exactly.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Yes.
I like that. It could be your own journey and interpretation. I know we've used the example of like pareidolia with the clouds and versus, say, aeromancy, right? Where you're reading those clouds and getting something for it because you're putting an intention out. You're trying to divine them for that answer. Or some kind of message. So you tend to get a feeling, though, for a lot of them, and ahead of time, and that should mean something to you as a
Absolutely.
medium, of course.
And
Very good.
I don't know if these are all human spirit. I don't know if maybe they're just other dimension beings, alien. I don't know for all of them. A lot of them that look completely human, oid to me, and their characteristics I think are spirit. But some I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it's something.
Yeah.
It's like it's something.
Right.
But this one I think is really pretty. This lady just laid back here, her chin, her mouth, her nose, her eye. This is the forehead.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Her neck.
Okay, so her skin is the darker portion.
Yeah, she's the
of
dark
that,
one. And then there's a little face
some-
looking down on her right there.
It's
Oh,
almost like a
yeah.
photograph negative, or where
Yes.
the skin is
Exactly.
dark and the hair is very light. And now that you point that out, it's super clear. I can't unsee it. And
Or
And a
maybe
lot of
here it is.
And right here is kind of the side of a face with the mouth and the eye. You see the eyebrow right there and part of the nose here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see my pointer? I can't. Can you see that?
We can see it.
yes.
It's
So
almost like
also, if you turn these upside down, a lot of times you'll see something completely different, which is really cool with my book. You can turn the images upside down and you'll see a wholly different thing.
I never even thought of that. That's so cool.
That's really neat.
Wow.
The picture all the way to the right is kind of
Oh my God, it's like dog.
kind of
Yeah.
It looks
A dog. Some people think it's a poodle with all this hair and then the skinny legs and then hair. So I don't know. It's not one of my dogs, so I don't know. But right here is a face popping out of the side with a long nose.
Oh yeah.
The eye, the chin, and the mouth.
Almost clown-like. And the first thing that drew me was really toward the dog's legs there.
Yeah.
Making up what looks like two eyes, and there's like eyeballs and eye sockets.
The muzzle, the end of the nose, the mouth of the dog. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody knows whose dog this is.
Maybe it might be my journey, but I see two things toward the bottom where the dog's legs would be.
Yeah.
There, that look like eye sockets with eyeballs in them.
Yeah, it's
there. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, those two.
That's pretty cool.
And that kind of makes up a whole different image. Right there.
And something maybe peeking in right here. I mean, the more you stare at them, sometimes the more things pop out. I was looking at one the other day that I did a long time ago, and a completely different face popped out that I'd never noticed before. So I'm like, oh, okay.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
like this one here, there's a little something with dark hair right here. So there's just and a lot of times some of these will be several faces morphing into one larger face, which is really fascinating. And you'll see on this this next slide kind of an example of this.
Okay, sure. Bring that up for us.
You
Oh
see
my God.
this face here, and then this face here.
They look layered.
This kind of a profile. This is like several faces morphing in together.
It's like they're layered on top of each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's such a clear face that I see that's almost
the eye.
Right there where you've got the pointer. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You can see your hairline.
This one almost looks like gorilla-ish to me.
And then very distorted. Kind of
right here. You'll see another face. There's the eyes, eyebrows. It almost looks like he has on a kind of a square-looking hat, but there are several faces in here that are overlaid, and that's with the glass jar with the white background. And I can't remember which lights I was using on it, but
just to let our listeners know, those that can't watch them, these images, maybe I'm not sure if these particular images are in a book, but you could tell us. You have 3 different books out they're available on Amazon, including The Art of Spirit, Water Scrying Images. And if you look up Phillip R. Wyatt, R being your middle initial, on Amazon, all your books will pop up. They're very reasonably priced and look like amazing books filled with photography. And I just want to remind those listeners that they can do that.
And if you're listening, if you go on YouTube and put in my name, I've done scrying presentations with some other groups, so you can see the video and see these images. So just look for it. If you're listening to a podcast and you want to see these, I have presentations online or on Facebook. If you go to Ghost Education 101, I did a scrying presentation, and that video was on there, so they can go back and look at these if they would
Yeah,
like.
let's talk about that real quick. Ghost Education 101 that you do with Heatherly Landon
Yes.
is a great show for people to learn about paranormal subjects, and is on some of the same networks that we are. And you can find that on the Paralinks, the Paranormal United Network. And yeah, just want to let people know that and to look for it. If you're watching us on a different outlet, there's a place to go and see you guys talking about these sort of things. And I think this was Joshua's comment to
It's so funny.
the last slide. He says
Didn't
the
mean
middle
to
one
laugh.
looks like a reptilian, and then he said, "We're Jason Voorhees." And yeah, I kind of see Jason Voorhees in this one. You know, the first movie at the end when he comes up and tips over the rowboat, you know, and grabs the person. That's about what that looks like.
Yeah, it does.
That's fantastic.
Well, Ghost Education, I think our next presentation was with Lloyd Auerbach, and I'm not sure what he's going to be presenting. And then I think we're taking a break for a month because Heather's having surgery, and I can't do it all by myself. So we're just going to take a break because everybody's out investigating this summer anyway. So the viewership is down. So we're just going to take a break for a month. But
that's cool. I didn't realize she was having surgery. She's actually our guest next week.
Yeah.
So just to let our guys know out there, Heather will be on next Thursday.
Yes, she will.
So the other half of Ghost Education 101. And when we first had you guys on, we had you on together. So
that's right. So I'm going to have to watch her presentation with you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So interesting.
Yes.
And have a lot to offer. So
God, we love you guys.
It's easy to do a show.
Anytime somebody asks me to talk about this stuff, I'm ready. So
all right. Bring it on.
I love it. Well, carry on your presentation. I just wanted to fill in a few of those gaps.
Well, this one I thought was interesting, but this man's face looking down here is kind of like his eye, large nose, mouth, chin, and then looks like a little dog popping up right here. Then there's a weird face here.
Yeah.
Two eyes, mouth. Don't know. This to me, I think, is more interdimensional or something than. I'm not sure how human, unless this could be thousands of years old. I don't know. Just don't know.
Ancient, right?
Yeah, I just because when I'm asking for images, I'm asking first of all for the highest and best. Anyone looking to be remembered, any of my spirit guides, angels, loved ones. Anyone who's on my spirit team that helps me with my mediumship, those are the ones I'm asking for to show themselves. So you're always asking for the highest and the best, and those who want to be remembered.
That's very interesting. To me, the picture on the right looks like an upside down carp.
Actually,
the picture on the left, I don't know how many people in. Like I just keep seeing more faces the more I look at it.
Yep.
Joshua Dixon says he sees a chihuahua.
Yeah, right.
It looks like something out of what's the name of the movies I own? All those movies. The sandworms there.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Tremors.
Yes.
Tremors.
Thank you. Thank you
Tremors.
so much. Yes, Tremors. That's what it looks like to me. And then I see little faces around it. It's really freaky.
Super freaky.
Yeah. And there's like a line going up. It's wow.
It's interesting when you say interdimensional, we might be talking about things that were never human.
Exactly.
We're taking bits and pieces of our memory to make it so.
I have gotten elementals too. Sometimes I'll take a bowl outside and I'll sit under the trees with the clouds and the sun, the white clouds and the greens of the leaf, and I get some really interesting things that I know are elemental spirits because they look like a tree with a face. It's like that's a face. You can't deny it. And some of those are in my books.
Excellent.
You would love Anne-Marie Young. You would love her pictures. She just said, me too.
She has some great.
She has some really cool pictures, and she sees faces.
And they are those kind of things. When you see it, you just can't unsee it.
Right.
Yeah.
She there's dragons in her pictures.
Oh,
really
wow.
cool.
Tell us about this slide.
Yes, please.
So this one, if you look carefully into this, you're going to see what I call the genie with his turban on here, his eyes, his nose, his mouth, his chin, and his neck is here. He's looking up in that direction.
Okay.
Once you see him, you'll see him. But
Okay.
this is like a turban to me, and then his eyes. Are you finding him?
Can you put the mouse over his eyes?
There's one, and they're kind of looking up.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do see it.
I see it. Yes.
Then there's another man hiding in here,
Yeah, that I see.
right in here. So yeah, and then there's another one morphing into here. You see his eyeball there, his mouth, his nose, his chin is here. So they're kind of several mixed in, but this is the prominent one here. I think I call him the genie because I think of this as like a turban that he's wearing on top.
It also reminds me of a jester.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, the way I think the hat almost seems to have things coming off of it, you know.
Yes, things coming off, but I mean, definitely a prominent neck, the jaw. But the thing I look for are eyes and eyebrows. That's the thing that then I look for the rest of the face to fill in. But if I can find what I think are eyes, that's the key to finding the face. Now, this one, I don't know what this is, but there's a face in here, and he's got a very interesting shaped head. But you see the eye here, the nose, and then the white mouth. It takes a few seconds to see it, and then you'll see it right here.
Oh, yeah. No,
and then his shoulders
clear.
here. Yeah, this one I just thought was really cool because I don't know if that's if he's wearing some kind of uniform, outfit, clothing. I don't know. I just thought it was a cool picture.
I almost see the jester hat in that one as well. Were they taken in the same session?
Close, I think, for those. I was doing this. I did a smoke presentation for a medium friend of mine. She has a YouTube page, and I said, does anybody want to be in this presentation? Show yourself. And I got some of these. So it might be from the same or close together.
I see. Very interesting. And Joshua has pointed out, as I'm sure our audience recognizes, the picture on the right.
Yes.
And sort of blue lens or blue light is very dolphin-like.
Yes, I see that too.
All right. Now, what this is a woman with a hat looking back over her shoulder. This is.
I hope you're going to blow my mind. Things are going to fizzle in a minute.
This is the brim of the hat.
I see it.
This is her ear, her neck. This is her chin, her mouth.
Oh my God, I do see it. Yeah.
Coat or dress.
And her shoulder. And she's looking over this shoulder here, like looking back, like, hey, I'm fabulous. I mean, that's what I see. But you can clearly see like the ear. Yeah.
And there's a certain mammal-like quality. If you take in the whole picture and there to kind of the left of her hat, that would be like an eye. And
it's right here turns into something else.
The brim of the hat would be like a mouth.
But
I think the blue is kind of lending to that dolphin quality. But I so see her now.
Yes,
I can't unsee her. And she looks like she's smiling and laughing and
looking back, like, look at me, look at my hat. I paid a fortune for it.
Right.
But then you look right here. It looks like a large head of a person, and he's like leaning in. So I don't know. This little situation is interesting to me because sometimes there's a scene going on, and you'll see that in one that's coming up. It's like there's a little scene, which I find fascinating.
There's more than one thing going on in this.
Yeah.
Like, seeing different things here.
Yeah, they are multidimensional, which is interesting.
Yes.
We're calling them possibly interdimensional. Which makes me wonder about spirits in general, if they have a certain interdimensional quality about them, things we don't, understand as far as timelines go and that sort of thing, and the ability to go back in time or forward. Or
because where are they when they're not actively haunting something? I mean, they've got to be somewhere. So where are they?
That's right. And they may not experience time like we do in this linear fashion. They may just be jumping around.
All right, moving on to these. This is a giant face with an open mouth. There's the mouth that's open, the eyes, the hair, the big chin, and then there's a little face in here. I just thought this was interesting because their mouth is open so wide. I mean, that's what I see in this one. It might take you a minute to see. There's the eye, the open mouth.
Ah, you see
Mhm.
it.
jaw. And then if you look right here, there's a little something interesting going on. I just thought it was a cool picture.
It does. It looks a little bit like a clown,
I
and
was
Yeah.
yeah, I can almost see like a red bozo nose. Well, it's not red, but
Uh-huh.
bozo type nose off to the right, and a sort of clown makeup on the left. The
Yep.
face almost looks a little bit split in a way.
yeah, that's like
Yeah,
a perfect
that's like this
line.
line
Another
here.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Now,
neck
do you
looks
get
like
that?
a
That's
shape.
what you, sorry, Chris, that perfect line that you see going down the middle of the face. Is that what happens? Like that's not untouched? Is that untouched or
No, it's the only thing I'll do is I'll lighten or darken and
dark as light, like
tune
dark?
in a little bit more, like more definition, but I don't change anything else.
Because it's like a perfect symmetrical line going straight down.
Yeah.
The second time we've seen that, and that's
And it
Yeah.
probably means something. I just don't know what.
wow.
I hope the neck doesn't, because the neck to me looks broken and
Yeah. Oh,
something bad happened there.
I don't know what's going on with me, but I see Loch Ness Monster or something towards that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Couple of slides before I saw a dog with another like laying on top of a other dog's neck. I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
that's cool.
My feeling about
Then you
it
see
is
faces in
it's
it.
pretty dark. Like, I don't know. Even though he's clearly smiling and laughing, but
Yeah.
there's
Hopefully
something
it's a laugh. But I mean, this almost looks like some teeth in there to me. Yeah. Sometimes you'll see teeth, which are kind of freaky, but
there's something a
so.
little disturbing about it. But yes, go on.
This is the big haired ladies. I mean, you'll see a face here with their hairs piled up on top of her head
Yes.
and a long neck. And then you've got a really strong jaw, chin
Mhm.
here, jawline, and then the eye here, the nose here. And this to me, I think is all hair. But you,
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks
Yeah, yeah,
like hair.
that one's pretty clear.
That's really
It
neat.
might be a
there, if you look right in here slightly, it looks like another face was trying to come in a bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wow. That one's really cool.
I just thought it was pretty.
Yeah.
it
Then
is.
we pop over to this one, and this one is several faces. Okay, first off, here is the side of the face. There's the chin, the little pug nose. the
Okay.
mouth,
Yep.
and the
I
chin,
see
and
that
then
now
it's
too.
looking
Yeah.
up.
That's the
Okay,
first time I saw it, but I see it
Yes,
now.
I
Yep.
can
now look at this one in here with the open mouth. There's the eye, the nose, the mouth, and you can almost see some white teeth right here.
Mom, yes.
Hmm.
See it?
Yeah.
Almost looks like
yeah.
a skeleton face.
I
Yeah.
see a little bigger face there too.
So there's this face and then this face. So
I think if you circle that area where you're calling a face, I see that as a left eye looking at us, and if you go to, well, really to your left because it's looking at us, right?
yeah,
I see another eye, well, a little bit more
here, possibly
towards the
another.
second picture,
Yeah,
and like a big open mouth, and
Yeah.
it looks a little disturbing. And I guess like that kind of clear part toward the bottom, I see is the neck. Again, the neck sticking out to me. Yeah, no, I do see. There's a lot of faces there
Yes.
for
yeah.
sure.
This makes me wonder: is that they're different lives, past lives? I thought of that maybe like it's one person with multiple lives
Yeah,
that they're
yeah.
showing. Yeah, that's
Or
a
different aspects.
possibility.
There could be a story in there, maybe different aspects of the same life. I don't
Now
know.
we're going to get into some of the fun color ones.
Oh, here we go.
Now this, all right, do you see this face here? There's an eye, this nose, the mouth. Here's the outline of the face,
Mhm.
the neck.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was really pretty.
It's green. It almost looks like a negative, but it's green instead of the white.
Yeah.
And explaining for the listeners.
Yeah, the use of different colors really brings out certain elements to these photographs.
Yeah, I've got all different colored lights. I have a one light. It's the Phantom light by Ghost Stop, and it has different colors you can use. And I use that one a lot. I'll put it at the bottom of the jar and shine it up, and then do the video session, and it will put the different color into the water.
Excellent.
I just thought that one was kind of cool because it's like it is a face, but it's not a face. Now this one I call Amelia Earhart because to me it looks like there's some kind of
Oh yeah, I
um,
see it now. Like
yeah,
headgear, the goggles, the flying
yeah, the
goggles.
goggles
The
and the
hat.
eye, the
And the
nose,
leather
the mouth, and it's kind of like looking back over the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah, I see that very clearly
Yes.
now. It almost looks like her face is tattooed on like an arm or something.
Yeah, the,
Or
the
somebody's
the
shoulder.
the original one is full length, and you can almost see like a full body, but it didn't show up well on here in the full frame, so I just
No,
did
I like that.
face.
There's a lot of detail on her face. I mean, it
Yeah,
truly looks like a picture or a tattoo, like I said.
yeah, I just saw that one. I just call it Amelia Earhart because to me, for some reason, it felt like it's an aeronautical outfit.
It
And I
looks
think,
that way. Yeah.
yeah,
Like the leather hat with the goggles up on the forehead and yep.
so I thought that was cool. Now this one is Siegfried Roy, which was the blonde one.
Oh my god, I can see that.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Shit.
right there.
Is he the one that got eaten by the tiger?
Which
No,
is,
the other one.
yeah, I get them confused, but to me, it's like
He's
there's the
caught in that
blonde
dark-
hair, the eye, the mouth, the
Yeah,
chin.
yeah.
You can see the face.
There's a blonde hair and
Throwing
yeah.
the arm up, here's the body. I mean, it's cartoon like, but it's definitely, that's a face.
It looks a little like anime almost. And yes,
Yeah.
you can see that in the jar. That's really cool.
I love the colors in that though.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
All right, there's a few more. How are we doing on time?
We're
Got a
okay.
few more
We're
minutes.
concerned about you. We don't want
Yes.
to keep you up too late past your
Oh,
bedtime.
please. You got me talking on this stuff. We'll be here all night. Because I can't talk to my clients at work about it because I think I'm nuts. But okay, now this one I want you to look into because this one there's something going on here. All right, first I'm going to point out this woman here. Here's her face. She's got dark hair. Her shoulder. Now she's looking into a face. This one's kind of upside down, but here's a person. But you see her in here. And then you've got a person looking down on her up here.
Yeah, I see that person
Yeah.
quite well.
But right here is her face is right in here with the dark hair.
A bit like Mozart did in the Mozart movie. I see like this old kind of almost colonial looking hair going on. She's looking down. There's two.
But if you turn it upside down, you will see this face kind of Elvis-y hair right here. I just thought that was cool.
That's very cool.
It's cool. I just watched Bubba Hotep today.
Ah,
I see it now.
that's good. And then you see this
middle.
little bald baby right here.
Yeah, so it looks
Oh,
like
wow,
it's
yes.
giving birth to the baby almost.
Yeah, I just thought that was the expression right here to me is just adorable. I don't know why. I just think it just makes me smile. Now this one right here it makes me cringe a little bit, but this one makes me smile.
Wow.
So cool. Wow. It's so pronounced. You can really see.
Yeah,
We're trying to
Big
extract
eye.
this, right?
What is the spirit
Was it-
trying to?
That kind of like, I don't know, clenched face at the bottom, yet then you see the baby head popping out
Yeah,
of
right
something.
there.
We'll just call it something in the middle.
Like, are they giving birth around it? You know,
Yeah, they
I
do
know where you're
remember the
going with
birth.
that,
and-
yeah.
Maybe that's the mean nanny. I don't know.
She die maybe when the birth happened or
Oh, that's
something like
That's a
that.
thought. Yeah.
That's the joy
Oh.
because the baby picture is so cute, but yet the face, attached to it is not.
It's like,
the
ow,
bottom.
that hurt.
Yeah,
And then
right.
there's a little face in here too if you look closely. But that's just fun to stare at them and because just things pop out.
most definitely so cool.
Now this one right here, there's the mouth, the lips with the teeth, an eye, a big nose. This to me looks like my friend Frances that passed away first of the year. She was 94. I mean, to me, I was like,
wow.
I think it's Frances because that's her nose.
Is
So
that right?
yeah, we were really close.
Well, how interesting to have that kind of scrying happen and see somebody you'd recognize.
Yeah, I think that's her. All right, we'll pop down to the next one. All right.
Oh, that's
Now,
Oh my
this to me is a monkey with its mouth open.
Yeah, I can see that. I
Yeah.
totally see that.
I have gotten monkeys like 3 different times. So I think it may be a spirit animal for me. But that one, there's the eyeball, the nostrils, the mouth, the brown, and then the dark hair on the monkey. Yeah, to me, I mean, that's just a monkey.
I see different animals in there. I see everything from a buffalo to a cat.
And there's something here.
I see
It's like a face. Yeah, there's all kinds of things in here, but to me,
There are.
the face.
Yeah, I see that as well.
And there's the straight lines again at the bottom.
Yeah.
They're perfectly straight. It's so
It
interesting.
is so
and
weird.
Smoke.
And
I have gotten numbers before and white, which I never know what they mean, but I've gotten them before. So, now this one, you see his profile right here. I just thought this was pretty. There's the eye, the nose, the mouth, the chin, the top of his head.
And there's a lady right behind that.
Yep, right here
Mm-hmm.
is a figure. There's the leg, the dress, the body, the face, and the dark hair.
I'm actually seeing but I see quite a few faces the more I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting the way they are all layered. So you showed us that profile, and just behind her eye, in that profile, there is another figure in a different eye. If you keep going to the left, in a mouth, and then if you keep going, there's a very detailed right there above. Yes, right there. Woman with it appears to be some sort of hat or hair
right
up
here. Yeah, this one's cool.
Back.
This one reminds me of the Morton Salt Girl.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. I see that too. The dress. Wow.
Darn.
There's a lot to see.
It's a lot.
You go and you buy these books and you look at these pictures. Like, you're not going to just skim it and be done with it.
No, you're going to be staring at them for a while.
And look at the picture.
You get a glass of wine and look at one, turning it sideways, and it's like, oh my God, there's something else. It's something else.
Put it upside down and wow, you can see.
Roll yourself something to smoke, maybe. And
I was not going to say it, but I'm glad you did. Because,
take an edible.
Yeah. Get the smoke from said product, and maybe.
Now, I suggest there are magnifying sheets that they sell. If you want to look at one of my books, or even these online, get that magnifying sheet and hold it up to it. Oh my God, you talk about things popping out. That magnifying sheet it just takes on a whole different look.
I imagine that's available on Amazon as well.
I've never heard of that.
I keep them at work for clients who's got hair color on and they want to look at a magazine and they can't put their reading glasses on. They can hold up the magnifying sheet. I mean, it's really good for that kind of thing.
Anne-Marie Young says, I am now. And it's referring to a previous comment. Looks like Gladys might be enjoying it as well.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we'll run through these quickly too, but here's one with a lot of faces layered on top of each other. You've got a face here. You've got a face here. And then this whole thing morphs into a face here. Yeah, this one's it's really layered. So it takes a minute for your eyes to focus in on one and then the other.
I've seen many faces in that.
Yeah. And then you've got one here. Yeah, this one's really layered, which is kind of cool. I just thought it was a neat picture. Then here's my friend Francis again.
Oh, yeah. Those look like the same image before.
Yeah, a little clearer. It was I slowed the video down. I got that other picture and this one, and then there's some little man popping out right here.
The little man.
It's probably her brother. I won't mention him. Okay, and then you got a nice smiley face right here, big mouth, eye, cheek, big curly hair. Then there's a little face right here. Yeah, this one was, I just noticed, it was a smiley picture. I just thought the face was smiling really nice.
It looks like one of the little rascals there toward the bottom.
Right here, you see the hat big eyes, mouth, chin. Yeah, I just thought that was a
Pointy
cool.
nose. Is that a big, long, pointy nose there? I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then here's a face looking sideways with a really sharp pointed nose, eyes, wearing some kind of funky hat. I just thought it was a really cool picture, but that is a face right in here.
It looks like a UFO to me, tipped on its side.
Uh
There's
huh.
that line again. It's so
Yeah.
bizarre.
That line.
When you get a line, a perfect line, and that one's actually just going like, what's the name of it there? I'm
Shooting,
lost.
like a comet, shooting star.
Being across.
Yes, it's amazing how you get that out of smoke. I'm just
Yeah.
like overwhelmed
There's
with
such
this.
a very distinct shape.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's wicked distinct.
It doesn't look like what you would expect
No,
smoke
not
to
out of
look like,
smoke.
like
Yes,
at all.
deeper. Yes.
It's fascinating. Some of the things I can't explain it, but I love it.
Yes, we do too. It's cool.
Now these are some fun water ones. This one I call her the witch, just because here's her face. She's got this funky body going on, and this cape flying out behind her, and you know you can kind of see her chest. And this is her body. I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. But to me, I just call her the witch because I just think this is a big cape flying behind her. But do you see her?
Yes. It looks like you're looking down upon her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you're
6,
like 7 feet above her. Looking
yeah.
down.
Wow.
I just thought that one was really fun.
It's interesting how quickly we can pick up on these.
Yeah.
We should give the listeners some kind of idea, like how clear these pictures are.
All right, now this one, here's the face. She's got a big giant hat on, and then this black part. I don't know.
Egyptian to me.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the eye, the nose, the white lips, the chin. I just thought that was a really cool picture.
It almost looks like a negative as well. It's really cool.
Yeah, almost like a pharaoh or something. Yeah, very cool.
I get some Native Americans. I've also gotten some that really look Egyptian, which are really cool. I've got a male and a female that look like they belong together. I've got them somewhere in another presentation. They're beautiful. And this little creepy man, I don't know what he is, but he's got a black hat. He's kind of a skeleton-y kind of a face. You know, he's looking that way with his black coat on. I just thought that was just kind of cool and creepy.
Is that death?
I think it's his chakra right here is glowing.
Oh, yes.
It's his heart chakra.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's something good.
Even a little alien to me, a little.
Could be, but you know, but it just looked kind of skeleton-y with the eye and the white nostril and the chin, and I thought it was a fun picture. Now this one I think is Native American. You got this forehead, this deep set eye, the nose, the mouth, the chin, and then you go into the neck. I just thought this was really
wow.
Very, very clear profile.
Yes.
Interesting. It looked like somebody like painted. This actually reminds me of the comic books I used to collect, Sandman, Gaiman, and they had very unusual covers where they would use art and like real materials in the covers of that. And that looks like the face is made of like a newspaper or layered papers. It doesn't look. Is that smoke? What is a water?
This is all water. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. You know, the profile is so distinct and clear and black.
They use the colors and the bubbles in the water to form all this. I mean, it's just fascinating how they use it, and in a millisecond, because it's 30 seconds I'm videoing. So it's just, I just don't know how they do it. It's just when I get over to the other side, I'm gonna be like, all right, now y'all got to show me how y'all do it.
Does it last for a few frames? Are you going?
No, I mean it is
it is here in one and gone in the next.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so it's very similar to that kind of like the feedback loop you might create like a camera pointing in at its own input, right, or output, I guess, with a TV.
I've done some of that, and it's just kind of tedious and exhausting.
Looks like extremely tedious work.
Yeah,
although I've seen some really fascinating
good results from it, but they're just not colorful and pretty like these are. These to me are just artsy.
Yeah, they very much are.
I'd like to put this one on the big canvas if I could afford it, like a really big printed on canvas, because you're going to see some of mine on canvas next.
Oh, nice.
Oh, excellent. I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Again, it reminds
So,
me of
if
Sam.
anyone is in the New York State area, if you've heard of Lilydale, which is the spiritualist capital of the United States, besides Casadega in Florida, the Spirit Art Gallery, Susan has a lot of mine printed on canvas and hanging in her gallery so people can go see. But they are beautiful when they're printed on canvas.
What is
Oh,
her last
thank
name?
Susan Barnes.
Barnes.
Barnes,
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
She's
know.
one of-
Lily Dale,
She's one of
What
my
happened?
mediumship teachers, and she
Ah.
just wrote this book. It's on spirit and art, and she used this is one of my scrying images, and she used it on the cover of her book, which I'm really
Oh,
excited
that's
about.
Wow.
cool.
That's super cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think somebody was on talking about Lilydale,
Yes,
New York,
they were.
and
Mhm.
as well as Florida, not too long ago. So that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is
But,
great. So use your picture on the cover of her book.
Yeah, I love this one with the eyes, and it's got this white coat wrapped around her. And then if you turn it upside down, this is a man right in here.
Come on.
Yeah, so you'll
Wow.
have to turn it upside down.
Gotta get the butt to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a few other things in here, like this little side profile, but I just made a really pretty cover for her book. She's written some other books on mediumship and physical mediumship, but yeah, if you're up in Lilydale this summer, she's got my art on display.
So
That is so cool.
is it just on display or can we buy it?
You can buy it, or you can, if you want to print one of these on canvas, I'll just send it to you.
Really?
Because you want it, it needs to be at least 300 dots per inch for printing,
Mhm.
which I had to do for my books, which is easy to do in paint.net. You just change the size. That's technical stuff, but yeah, to print it, you want it high resolution to make it really pretty.
Oh, that's excellent.
Can you
That's
get it online if we go and type in the Spirit Art Gallery?
Yeah,
I don't know.
she's got a website.
Okay.
Spirit Art Gallery has a website. And also, if you're interested, Susan does spirit art classes on Zoom. You don't have to pay or anything. It's part of the AREI, Afterlife Research and Education group. They have a lot of free classes. And you just get you some crayons and some notebook paper, and she'll do an hour little class. And every class is like a different exercise where you can draw your spirit guides and things. They're fun if you want to do it. You don't have to be an artist. They're fun, but
Yeah, I can't.
I think there's value in just having a creative experience.
yeah.
The creative, it lends to spirituality. Absolutely.
Because there is a thing called a precipitated art. Now that is art that a spirit produces. They're very rare. There's only one or two people now doing it. I think his name is Rob. Oh gosh, his name went right out of my head. But he will when you go to one of his seance, it's not really a seance, but one of his presentations, he hands out 3x5 index cards. You write your name like in the top corner, and everybody puts them on a basket in a basket, and the basket is full of crayons and colored pencils and things.
Mhm.
And then he'll do mediumship readings, and then at the end of the presentations, he gets the cards out of the basket, and he'll call your name out and give you the card, and there'll be a picture on it and different signatures from spirit guides, loved ones. It is fascinating.
Come on.
Really?
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Without any handling whatsoever.
Yeah.
Rob Hoynet. Oh my God, I can't think of his name. And then there's some really old precipitated art where some mediums would take a canvas, put a piece of cloth over it, and then remove the cloth, and the spirits have painted a picture on. And in Lilydale, they have some of these, and they are so beautiful.
And nobody touches this basket whatsoever.
Or
No, the basket's on stage. everybody, you can look in it, it's empty, and then he puts the cards that you put your name on, and there will be the most gorgeous. Okay, something over on my desk just
I
moved.
heard that. Oh,
Hello. Okay.
hello.
Um,
Oh.
all right, do something good. Clean up my desk if you're here.
There you go. I say that too. Do the
Just some
dishes
dishes.
for me. Exactly.
It's a mess. So yeah, so if you're watching this, research precipitated spirit art because it's really fascinating. But
Oh, that's great. I thought you were going to say something like along the effects of automatic writing,
Exactly what I just wrote down.
which a person, you know, would be, you know, physically handling the materials and, you know, channeling spirit. But what you're saying is that
It just
spirit does the entire thing.
That's
Yes.
Wow. I'm going to look that up.
Oh, we have to look that up. I'm sorry.
So I hope everybody enjoyed that funky presentation.
It wasn't funky. It was amazing. It was awesome. You are awesome.
So,
fantastic. Yes.
any questions? Anybody got any questions? Because I can't see.
That's all right.
We just got a lot of
We
wows.
can barely see as well, so we totally understand, Phillip.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times I just make up the questions because I can't read them. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, you do.
Let's see. There, Gladys again has asked something. What does it mean when you see a real scary face when you're close to your and it scares you so bad you shake and open them? And I think what she's getting at here is, what does it mean if you're seeing just darker images, say within the imagery that you've shown earlier?
Was she saying that, or was she talking about in her third eye? I couldn't. Can you pop that back up there?
Sure.
I'm trying to do that.
What does it mean when you see a real scary face when you're close up and it scares you so bad you shake and open your eyes?
Open them. I'm not sure what she means by open them, but
no,
I'm not sure.
If you're seeing a lot of like, so it's call it spooky faces and
right
in the smoke, right? Or there might be something happy in there as well, and you don't see that, and you're only seeing. Is it a vibrational thing? Like, is your vibration?
Yeah, it could be, or you can just be looking at it in a negative way when it's something that's not negative. But you know, not all people are beautiful. Not all spirits look like supermodels. So maybe that's the way they're presenting themselves, or they're showing me a part of their life that was not pleasant. But it doesn't mean that they're evil or bad.
Right. And beauty is, of course, subjective. Yeah.
And I'm asking for, you know, how would they like to be remembered? Just show me a inspirational image, you know, so there might be meaning into it other than, you know, they don't all have to look like beautiful ethereal angels.
Right. And she says, when I closed my eyes, it scared me.
Yeah,
so,
you might need to be raising your vibration a little bit. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to see those.
What would you recommend people do if they're interested in this sort of divination? What's a cool, easy way to start?
Well, if you got a stainless steel salad bowl.
Yeah, I saw the salad bowl. I know I got one of those under the.
Just 3/4 full of water, and then get you some different colored lights.
A little bit of lighting.
And hold your video, you know, your camera over it, and just put your water. Put your water in the finger and move it. But before you do, you ask that only the highest and best present themselves to you. No one that has any bad intentions for you are allowed to communicate with you visually, spiritually, or any other way.
Okay.
So always, you know, you want to put your intention into what you're doing first. And that's the same way with, you know, audio ITC. Mm-hmm. You don't just say, who's out there? You know, you don't want to do that.
No, you know. You'll get a whole bunch of whoa.
Well, yeah, that kind of
another inexpensive way if you want to try it. I mean, literally, it's I think this is a mayonnaise jar. I don't know what kind of jar. You know, with no writing on it, and I paint one side of it, so there is a backdrop. So I put it in my lap, and then I film it this way, and then I'll put the light at the bottom. That's not charge, but yeah, just put the light at the bottom, video it from the top, and you just move it back and
Wow.
forth.
Just move it around.
That's
You know,
insane. That's
you
so
painted the outside of the
good.
jar, half of the jar white.
Yeah,
you know,
that one's
black.
gold, and I put black on it just to get out the light. And
Stephanie.
yeah,
Stephanie,
you
yeah.
don't have to spend a fortune. I mean, this is, it's not fancy.
Let me go a step further. So now you capture this video on your phone.
Yeah.
What does a person do with it? They want to go through it frame by frame, but what do you recommend they do? That part will be a roadblock for some people.
Actually, because I did one earlier today. Because sometimes I'll just feel the urge. It's like it calls me, like the call. There's like, okay, I need to do this for 30 seconds. Well, this might be too bright.
I can see it. We're making it out on your phone. So you're playing back the video. Are you using any special software?
So then I will stop it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I just, and then I just scroll through.
Frame by frame by frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. If you got an iPhone, you can also download it to iMovie, the app.
Mm-hmm.
It's called iMovie. And in the editing part, you can slow it really way down.
Sure. And there's lots of good programs out there, we
just
use
do it simply and just
on our Windows computer.
Yeah.
And if you have an Android phone, say you don't have an iPhone and you want to do that, you could go through there. There's a lot of free apps out there that are pretty good. And
Android.
Yeah, don't make it complicated and hard. It doesn't have to be. And I did in the beginning start with my 4K camera, digital, that I use for paranormal investigating. That's a pain in the neck to download it to the computer and
Yeah.
I mean, those are for the cell phone. I mean, you saw how clear they are.
If you can do it on your cell phone, you can at least pick out the best pictures, and maybe at that point you want to do something else with them. So that's been super informative.
I posted 2 today that I just caught that were really cool with the white jar.
I saw them. They were awesome. Yes.
Yes. And Stephanie asked, which version of Scrying do you like the most?
I like the water more than smoke because I like the colors. Something about the colors of them, I just think are really pretty. I'm a visual person, I'm a hairdresser, so I like, pretty things. And to me, the smoke are more one-dimensional, where the color ones just are more alive to me.
Excellent. Well, this has been a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you.
We really appreciate you coming on.
We always appreciate it.
I love your pictures, as you know, and love your company.
Yes.
You're a wonderful person to talk to, and it's been very insightful. And I love our conversation on mediumship and what that feels like in that communication, and seeing those parallels with other aspects of the paranormal and ufology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
All under the umbrella.
Yeah, well, this is the message we're trying to push with people, and that there are a lot of these parallels, and that all this stuff is tied together. So thank you so much for your contribution. I love it. And I know our audience loves it, and Kristen certainly does as well.
Oh, yes.
And
I'm a big fan of yours.
Yeah, we really.
I love you too. You just have the most warm, fuzzy feeling when I talk to you. Just you have the best aura.
Yeah, it's the way I feel with you. So when I'm like, I love this guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, we were psyched to have you back on and
be
able to have this chat. So thank you so much. We want to let people know they can check out your paranormal team at Georgia Paranormal Investigations. That's plural.com.
And look at our Facebook page. We've got some really good EVPs from our last investigation. I mean,
is that right?
Really
that's awesome.
EVPs thrill me.
Yes.
They do. And great ITC thrills me as well. So we have a lot in common, my friend.
Anne-Marie said, thank you for being you.
Thank you for being you.
Glad
to thanks you. And we've had a great time. Stephanie, thank you for your insightful evening.
Stephanie's been at the beach. She's been in Daytona having fun.
Oh, I love Daytona. It's where my mom lives. And I've been to Daytona racetrack. And well, Stephanie, have a good time.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you again. And
Thank you.
we are just want to remind our audience we are off again on Saturday. So we'll be back next week. Heather Lee Landon will be with us, which is Philip's partner on Ghost
other
Education
half.
101.
Yes.
He's got a new book out, and we'll be talking about that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So join us here then.
Yes.
And have a great week, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
All right. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th of July. Stay safe out there. Don't blow up your fingers with firecrackers.
Happy anniversary, babe.
That's right. No,
Water's crying instead. It's much prettier.
and I got this cool shirt that Kristen gave me about necromancy. And
yeah, I
we'll
love
be
it.
heading off to our favorite place for the paranormal, which is
Spidergate. 7 years.
It's a fun place, and that's where we go. That's what we do.
Yep.
To celebrate, we go up to Spidergate.
Yep.
Have a great time.
Nice romantic time with a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's a thing.
It's not as kinky as it sounds, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, that woman did marry that ghost of a pirate a couple years ago. Remember, she was on TV. She married a ghost of a pirate.
Oh yeah, she got divorced.
That's right.
Then she got divorced from him because he wasn't that fun.
It wasn't as good as she thought it would be.
Oh,
Freaking funny.
But
But thanks, guys.
again, thank you, and
Bye.
enjoy your week. Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.